Hello, it's time for Flashback, the weekly history quiz. Let's find out what's happened in history. In 1867, Candy Cummings, a skinny pitcher, outwits bigger baseball players. He throws one of the first curveballs. Interesting. Against that, we're placing Johannes Kepler, an astronomer who uses math to predict the motion of the planets. He realizes planets are not moved by spiritual forces, but physical ones. Obviously, that is going to be before 1867. Yep, 1609. Believed to have eaten toxic algae, seabirds began attacking homes in California. Alfred Hitchcock uses the incident in his next film, The Birds. I mean, I assume this is probably not long before the film of 1963. Yeah, so it's right about the same time. Interesting. I didn't know about that inciting incident. Alexander Hamilton insists that presidents be able to pardon their opponents. One critic fears that presidents will pardon their supporters instead. Oh, that's so interesting that it started as that. Fascinating. Anyway, that'll be sometime in the late 18th century. Yep, 1787. There we go. After the Great Blizzard dumps feet of snow on New York and paralyzes the city finally gets around to opening its first underground subway. Well, was New York City, was that the second subway after London? No, maybe it wasn't. What was the second one after London? I don't know. But this will be the late 19th century. Oh, it's even later than that, 1904. Okay, so it definitely wasn't the second subway. Okay. Not even close. Julia Braden is one of the first to sell a messy street food in opulent movie theaters where it's typically banned. Popcorn. Wow. Good for her. That's funny. Let's see. Maybe the 1920s-ish? 1915. I was close. By the Gulf of Mexico, the town of Jalala is first recorded by explorers. It's known for its spicy peppers, or jalapenos. I assume that's before 1609. Yeah, 1519. Not drastically before. After traveling abroad, a monk named Issei returned to Japan with two things: green tea and a form of Zen Buddhism that will prove quite popular. I assume this is before 1519. Yeah, 1189. Yeah, okay. I would have been surprised otherwise. A volcanic blast blocks the sun and kills crops during the year without a summer. One hungry boy, Justus von Liebig, will later help create chemical fertilizers. Okay, well, do I think that's the late 19th or early 20th century? Probably somewhere around there. Do I put it before or after 1904? I don't know, honestly. I don't really know anything about this incident. Chemical fertilizers. I honestly don't know enough about the history of chemistry to know when it would be plausible for that to have been created. I mean, I guess the 1904 and 1915 feels like too narrow a window to stick something like this in, just in terms of test design. So my guess is either just before 1904 or just after 1915. When I say just after, I mean that slot. I don't actually know when the year would be. I don't know. It's a coin flip for me, I think. I'll put it before. It was wrong. Oh, I was way off. My coin flip wasn't even the correct answer was not on the coin. I couldn't have solved it with my strategy. So we'll get to it in a second. So I got one wrong. That puts me in the plurality here of people who missed 3 points. Which in my case was one incorrect answer. So let's see what tripped others up. About a fifth of people misplaced the Zen Buddhism. That's interesting. So I guess they thought it was later. A third of people misplaced the Gulf of Mexico and the recording of the town of Jalala. That's interesting. Nearly everybody got Kepler right. That's not a surprise. Most people got Alexander Hamilton's time period right. That's not a surprise. Whoa. Only a third of people among whom I was not, correctly got the volcanic blast. Yeah. So I guess probably other people thought it was later in the same way that I did. Yeah. So chemical fertilizer much earlier than I had realized, which I should have known. Okay. How that was placed. So about a tenth of people misplaced the opening of the New York City subway, the initial opening. A little more than a tenth of people misplaced movie theater popcorn, maybe thinking it was later. And just about everybody correctly placed inciting incident of the birds, which makes sense. Okay, so this was sort of all over the place, actually. And that 38% about the fertilizer that's one of the lowest I've seen recently. Okay, well, I don't feel quite so bad about getting it wrong in that case. Those were some events from history. That was Flashback. Back next week with more of this. Bye for now.